This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right. We're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
Levi and Ivy, friends by your side. The story you're about to enjoy was inspired by Loyal 109. Thank you for your amazing idea. What if we ask our parents if we can all go on vacation together? Levi asked as he, Ivy, and their cousins, Stella and Jameson, ran around the backyard playing tag. That would be amazing, called out Ivy as Levi ran by and tagged her shoulder. Tag, you're it, shouted Levi as he turned and ran the opposite way. But where would we go? Asked Stella as she dodged by Ivy running this way and that. I know, exclaimed Jameson as he stopped right where he was. Tag, you're it, shouted Ivy as she tagged her cousin. But why did you stop? We're playing tag. The point is to not get tagged. I stopped because I have a great idea. A huge idea, Jameson began. What if we went to Disney World together? That was a great, big idea that definitely made everyone stop their game of tag and think about how much fun that trip would be. Think of all the rides we could go on together, said Ivy. Think of all the tasty snacks, said Levi. Think of all the characters we could take silly pictures with, said Stella. Think of all the fun we'd have in the hotel pool, added Jameson. We have to make this happen. Levi, Ivy, Stella, and Jameson were cousins who loved nothing more than hanging out together. They loved playing games together, sharing fun adventures together, being silly together. Come to think of it, as long as they were together, they pretty much liked what they were doing. So you can imagine going to the happiest place on earth with your favorite people on the planet? How could that get any better? You see, Stella and Jameson weren't just cousins to Levi and Ivy, but they were also best friends. How can we make this happen? Asked Levi. We can't let another minute go by without forming a plan and getting this epic vacation on the calendar for this summer. I've got it, said Ivy. How about I go inside and give my parents my sweet puppy dog face and ask them? They never say no to that cute face. While we all think you're very cute, Ivy, the vacation of a lifetime is on the line here. We need something a bit more reliable than a sweet smile, said Levi. How about we map out the whole vacation? Stella began. You know, plan the whole thing so our parents don't have to do all that boring stuff. The only thing they'll have to do is say yes, and we'll be on a plane to Florida before we know it. Great idea, Stella. Will we be using your credit card to pay for the hotel, plane tickets, and park passes? Jameson asked with a giggle as his sister realized they really did need their parents to do all their boring trip planning stuff. Now don't look too down, Stella. You were going in the right direction, said Jameson. While we can't buy plane tickets or make hotel reservations, we can make the trip planning a bit easier and plan what we do. Everyone was very interested in what Jameson had to say. First, he asked Levi and Ivy to grab a notebook and some pens, and he explained his plan. We start off by picking the week that we go, making sure both our families are free. They'll be less likely to say no if our schedules are wide open, said Jameson with a big smile. Then we can plan out each day. Yeah, like which theme park we'd go to, where we'd eat, and what fun shows we'd go to each day, added Levi. Exactly, said Jameson. We can all take the daily planning out of the vacation and throw in some stuff that our parents like to do in Disney, suggested Stella. Yep, like visiting the Hall of Presidents, said Ivy, pretending to yawn. My dad loves that place. Or strolling through Paris Pavilion and Epcot and getting croissants, added Levi. My mom wanted to do that so badly the last time we were there, but we ran out of time. Jameson and Stella loved their ideas and had quite a few of their own. First, they talked a bit more about the things they wanted to do, then added a few mom and dad favorites, and finally they wrote it all down in a calendar they drew themselves. Now they just had to pick the perfect week for their trip. After doing a little detective work, which really just involved running inside and asking their parents if they were free a few different weeks in June. They were ready to talk with their mom and dad. Stella and Jameson had to come over to Levi and Ivy's house that day because they were having a barbecue. While their parents were finishing up making food, Levi, Ivy, Stella, and Jameson finished up their big plan. They decided they would pitch the double family Disney trip idea as they were getting ready to have dessert. After all, everyone's in a good mood when there is a sweet treat in front of them, and the kids wanted to make sure their parents were in the best mood possible. "Who wants brownie sundaes?" asked Levi and Ivy's mom after all the kids helped clean up from dinner. They also thought helping clear the table after dinner would put their parents in a good mood and make them more likely to reward their well-behaved, very helpful children with a wonderful Disney vacation. As everyone was enjoying their sundaes, Levi, Ivy, Stella, and Jameson carefully picked just the right time to begin their Disney presentation. They each looked at each other as they were finishing their desserts, nodding back and forth, preparing for the start of their master plan and hoping it would work. Levi gave the final nod, which was Jameson's cue to start. He started by highlighting how much they loved being together, how they always had such a great time, and how they didn't see each other nearly enough. And for good measure, Jameson also threw in what great parents all the kids had. It was a nice touch. Stella added how much fun it was getting together for a day, but how much more fun it would be to get together for a whole week. This all sounded lovely, but the parents were getting suspicious. Levi and Ivy's parents looked at Stella and Jameson's parents as they started to see where this conversation was going. "So that brings us to our main point we're trying to make," Ivy finally said as she turned to Levi, Jameson, and Stella and quietly counted to 3.
1, 2, 3.
When she reaches 3, the 4 cousins exclaimed in one voice, "Can we please go on a Disney vacation together? Please, please, please." "And before you answer, we love you so much and we've got the whole week already planned," said Levi. "Yep, you don't have to do any of that boring day-to-day planning. We've done it all for you," said Stella. "Because you deserve to have a nice, relaxing vacation," added Jameson. "Because you're the best parents in the whole world," Ivy proclaimed in conclusion. Then the 4 cousins confidently looked at each other with big smiles. They couldn't have delivered that any better. They were convinced in that moment that there was no way their parents could say no. "We love that idea," Stella and Jameson's mom started to say until the kids interrupted her with the clapping and excited screams. Hold on. "We didn't say yes," said Stella and Jameson's dad. "We love the idea and a trip together would be amazing. But when would we go? Our schedules are so busy." "Well, remember when we were asking you all those questions earlier about our summer plans?" asked Jameson. "Well, we put all the info together and figured out that June 7th to the 14th would work out perfectly for both families." Their parents were speechless. The kids were right. So they didn't really have anything else to say except, "Yes, we can do it," said Levi and Ivy's dad after getting the nod from all the other parents at the table. Levi, Ivy, Stella, and Jameson couldn't believe what they were hearing. It worked. They were going on a big family vacation with their cousins. They jumped up in excitement and ran laps around the backyard, shouting and clapping their hands. They thanked their parents and ran off to Levi and Ivy's treehouse to talk more about their vacation. "I'm so glad they suggested this trip," said Levi and Ivy's mom. "Us too," replied Stella and Jameson's mom. "We've been thinking about doing something like this for a little while now, but it always seems like we've got something going on and it wouldn't work out." "She's right," added Stella and Jameson's dad. "For example, the week before our newly planned Disney vacation, I have a big work trip scheduled that Stella, Jameson, and their mom are joining me on. We'll be staying on a lake in New Hampshire, and we're going to go hiking and boating, and maybe we'll even see a moose." While the kids played in the treehouse and planned more of their Disney vacation, their parents started discussing hotel reservations and plane tickets. As the weeks and months went on, Levi, Ivy, Stella, and Jameson got more and more excited for their trip. Then one day at the beginning of June, out of nowhere, Levi and Ivy's parents called them into the living room. And it wasn't in there, "Hey, we've got some awesome news to tell you" voices. It was in there, "Hey kiddos, you're not going to like this, but we still have fun" voices. "What's up, Mom and Dad?" asked Levi as he and his sister reluctantly sat down on the couch, not too terribly excited about what their parents had to tell them. "Hey kiddos, you're not going to like this," Levi and Ivy's dad started to say. Oh no, whispered Levi to Ivy. It's got to be about the Disney vacation. And unfortunately for Levi and Ivy and Stella and Jameson, it was. We're so sorry, but Stella and Jameson's dad's business trip got rescheduled to our Disney vacation week. He tried to get out of it, but he has to go, explained Levi and Ivy's mom. He feels terrible. And even though Stella and Jameson want to go to Disney with you more than anything, they don't want to go if everyone can't be together, added Levi and Ivy's dad as his kids continued to listen, unable to speak. But Stella and Jameson are coming over today to play, said Levi and Ivy's mom, hoping that would help a teeny tiny bit to make them feel better. Levi and Ivy still couldn't say a word. They were really, really, really upset. But they knew Stella and Jameson were too. We're still going to Disney though, said Levi and Ivy's dad, and we're already working on planning a replacement trip with Stella and Jameson for next year. We're so sorry, but we'll still have lots of fun, said Levi and Ivy's mom reassuringly. We know we will, Mom and Dad, said Levi and Ivy as she nodded her head. Can we go wait for Stella and Jameson in the treehouse? Asked Ivy. Of course, said Levi and Ivy's dad. Then once they arrived, Stella and Jameson ran right over to the treehouse and called for their cousins. Levi and Ivy came down the ladder and gave their favorite cousins a big hug. So, you already know? Asked Stella as Levi and Ivy nodded their heads. We couldn't be more upset, but as much as we want to go with you to Disney, we also want both our mom and dad to be there too, said Jameson. We totally understand, said Levi. He and Ivy had talked about it in the treehouse, and there was no need to make Stella and Jameson feel bad. This wasn't anyone's fault, and Levi and Ivy knew that they were just as upset. But on the bright side, my parents said they're already planning another Disney vacation with your parents for next year, said Ivy, trying to sound positive. Everyone smiled as they all sat down at the picnic table under the treehouse. It was then that Ivy and Levi noticed that Stella and Jameson were holding a gift bag. These are for you, said Stella as she and Jameson held out the bags that they were holding. It's a little gift we made, so you can still have us with you in Disney. Well, sort of, added Jameson with a smile. Levi and Ivy were a little confused. How could Stella and Jameson be with them in Disney if they were going to be in New Hampshire with their mom and dad? But all it took was a quick look in the bag to see how that was possible. Well, sort of. Are these? Ivy began to ask as she and Levi took their presents out of the tissue paper they were wrapped in. Yep, they're Stella and Jameson dolls. We made them for you to take along to Disney, said Jameson. We thought you could bring them to the hotel pool, to the parks, and on the rides so at least it felt like we were there with you. Just a little bit, added Stella. You could even take pictures of all the fun you have with the dolls and send them to us, added Jameson. Levi and Ivy couldn't love their gifts more. They weren't just awesome looking. Each doll was made out of felt, googly eyes, and stuffing, but they were so thoughtful. We love them, exclaimed Levi. And we love your idea about taking them along on our vacation, added Ivy. And now that I say that, I think I know what we can do while you're here today. Ivy explained her plan and the kids got right to work. Then a couple of weeks later, Levi and Ivy arrived in Disney with their mom and dad. The Magic Kingdom, to be exact. Their first park of the trip, just like they had put on their weekly vacation schedule that they had created with Stella and Jameson. And at the same time, Stella and Jameson were in New Hampshire with their mom and dad hiking on the most beautiful trail in the mountains. As Levi and Ivy got on their first ride, they held up their Stella and Jameson dolls and asked their parents to take a picture and send it to Stella and Jameson's mom and dad. And they did. And at the same time, Stella and Jameson stood in front of the beautiful waterfall in New Hampshire and held up their Levi and Ivy dolls. The same dolls that they had made with their cousins the day they found out they couldn't all go to Disney together. They asked their parents to take a picture and send it to Levi and Ivy's mom. And they did. Those exact exchanges went back and forth for the whole week, creating some wonderful memories. The dolls made by Levi, Ivy, Stella, and Jameson made the kids feel like they were sharing some great adventures and fun experiences together. And even though they were miles and miles apart, they had the most wonderful feeling that their best friends were right by their side. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun, lively Lewis story with you.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.